Oops, hit the mic. Hopefully that wasn't showing. Oh, right. I gotta announce this. Final is my favorite number. Yes. I'm making it into a number now. That's how you know we're done. When there's no more numbers, it's just, hey, this is it. We're done. How you doing, Aaron? Welcome in. All right. I'm good? Good. How's Nova? A little tired. Not gonna lie. I don't know what's going on. It's just I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. It's one of those things where it's just like, hey, you stay up. Like my brain just did not want to go to sleep. So I was just staring at the ceiling for like an hour or so. And so because of that, I've been just kind of sleepy today. But I'm good. I loaded myself up with some caffeine, with some sugar. And that's definitely the healthy thing to do. So, yeah. Mood. The dipshits who live below me pulled our building's fire alarm at 1:45 a.m. Yeah, that's awful. That happened to me, actually, about a couple of years ago. Just like, they just think it's funny to just pull the fire alarm and evacuate the whole building. Because that's just some teens or some kid's idea of a prank. So, yeah, we got... I look forward to the day when they grow up and have that happen to them. Because only then, that's when you learn. I got to be my new neighbor, though. She's nice. Ah, that's cool. The sad thing is, they're whole-ass adults. Oh, you're talking about the dipshits who pulled your fire alarm. I was like, what? Wait, what? The sad thing about your neighbors that they're whole ass adults? I was like, wait, whoa, hold on, what? All right, yeah, I got you. I got you there. My neighbor is also an adult, but I'm glad about that. Yeah. That would be weird if you moved in and you realized that your neighbors were children. I was like, wait. How did you even sign the lease? Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, I may have said, kids and teens, but I didn't really say anything about mental age. Right? Hey, Fortuna, welcome in. The actual end? This is the actual end. I only have 2 games on my list for today. And we're going to play them. And then we're going to be done. Which is kind of sad, but, well, I think everybody's already moved on from the game jam, which is, it is kind of sad, but I still want to show off some cool games, so that's why I'm doing this still, all these weeks later. Worth it. To me, at least. But yeah. Anybody else thinking about joining any other jams? I've already played a couple of jam games from future jams, which kind of goes to show just how quickly this stuff can move on. But yeah. Like I think what was it? Experiment GHD? That was a Toasty Jam game, which was well after the RPG Maker game jam. I might jump in Riggy's next one, but it won't be until September. Okay, cool. Just move this right here. I mean, that's like a month and a half away, so that's fine. I envy everybody's ability to just kind of stop what they're doing to work on a quick gam jam. Game Jam. There we go. I see my linguistic skills still need a little bit more warming up before we actually get into this. So that's great. Good thing I wasn't doing anything but talking today. Which is hilarious because I told you guys earlier that I guess that's right. This is going to go on YouTube. So for the new people, I am a software engineer, and turns out most of what I do is actually not coding, but just sitting there in meetings and talking to people about how to write your code. Hey, John Erico, Arf? Are you a dog? Get your fursuit off there, buddy. We're talking here. But yeah, I was trying. They kept saying, "Oh, by the way, your application needs to make some other changes for this one initiative." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Kind of weird that you would drop this on me as a text chat, but yeah, not sure what's going on with there. Let's have a call about it." And he was like, "Okay, sure." And then 30 minutes later, I come back. The same guy comes back to me. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Nova, I spoke with the other guys, and they want you to do this, that, and the other thing." I'm like, what happened to the meeting that we were supposed to be having? They were like, yeah, no problem. You just have to do this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, listen, I hate meetings as much as the next guy. But if you're going to have me do something, I think I should be present during those design meetings. You know, a bit of a weird, controversial take, I know, but yeah, especially when you start making requirements that I'm not capable of doing. So I pushed back on that, and they're like, "Okay, cool. Let's have that meeting." And then I hear back, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Just set up the time or send me the invite." And then an hour later, this guy gets back to me. He's like, "Okay, so the real decision, I spoke with this other guy, and the real decision to make is," I'm like, "Bro, what part of invite me do you not understand?" So apparently people just don't want to talk to me, which can't imagine why. I guess most people just don't like to hear no, which I'm cool with telling people no. Admittedly, that is a good part of my job. When people tell me that my application does something, even though they have no idea what it's all about, and I do because I've been working with it for years, and I say, "No, it can't do something," and they're like, "Sure it can." I'm like, "Bitch, I have the code in front of me. Do you have the code in front of you? Don't you tell me what my code can and can't do." When I say no, it means no. But yeah, enough of the rambling. We doing positivity today, right? Positivity. Hey, sometimes it's good to get that off your chest. And don't you all worry about it. For those that are watching this on YouTube, yeah, we get that. We have more fun stuff like that. We get unfiltered raw Nova on the streams that don't get uploaded. I'm so happy that I could skip most meetings compared to other more senior devs. Really? Huh. That's kind of important though. What do you mean ellipses? Don't you ellipses me? Don't you ellipses me, Aaron? What's going on? What are you ellipsesing me for? What did I do to deserve that? Your phrasing sometimes. Nah, I told you. We're only doing positivity and wholesomeness here. This is going on YouTube after all. Wait, how long are we in the 9 minutes 40 seconds. Do YouTube videos get demonetized if you say swear words within 10 minutes? I remember that being a thing in the past. Oh wait, I just remembered. I don't care because I don't monetize YouTube videos anyway. So, 10 minutes. Fuck! There you go. Well, if we weren't going to get demonetized before, we are now. So how about that? You know, it's actually like I stopped caring about YouTube. Like, at the moment I uploaded my first archive, I'm not going to lie. Because right after, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was like the first archive. It was either the first or the second one that I uploaded it, and then 5 minutes after it went live, I got a copyright claim on it. I was like, wait, what? What happened? And then I looked it up, looked up the company behind it, and yeah, the company was known for making a bunch of false copyright strikes. I was like, oh, okay. So I made the crime of uploading one YouTube video, and then suddenly I'm targeted by some random company that, let's face it, ain't gonna get shit from my videos. Like, even if I let the copyright claim stay, and you can take all the advertising revenue, you're not gonna get anything. Which is hysterical to me. But yeah, it must have been done by like some kind of bot or whatever. But it was at that moment that I realized that, oh, I just don't care anymore. Sorry, it wasn't that moment specifically. It was the fact that it happened, I believe, 3 more times. Yep, 4 more times. Excuse me. Yep, there's another one that came up. Yeah. Why? I don't know. Yep, I just see it. That's why I will never give YouTube any money. No kidding. Yeah, as long as they have stuff like that, as long as they continue to have these kinds of very poor copyright systems, I don't care. Neither from ads or from premium. Really? Oh yeah, I guess there's the ad blocker. But it is what it is. I don't particularly care at this point because I'm just moving on. Overall, there's a lot of positive reception for the YouTube videos, and I do appreciate that. But yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I can hazard. Like, it's weird. I don't want to bring too much beef into this, but I see a couple of dislikes on a couple of the videos. And, like, I have a feeling I know who they are, because it's just, like, patterns that I can see. But, like, it just feels really petty to me. Also, congratulations. Like, by disliking the video, you've also helped me get noticed, because that's how YouTube's discovery algorithm works. So, thank you for that. So, thank you for the engagement that you're getting on the video. Hey, Windrider, welcome in. How you doing? That's always my favorite part. No kidding. Yeah, same here. Yeah, so how's it feel to be wrong, Windrider? Yeah. So you drew a whole fan art of somebody getting ready to slap me over a false premise. If there's a way that I could, like, sue fictional characters, I could probably figure out a way to do that. I would sue the fan art version of Angel. Yeah. How dare Nova skip out on Verloren for several weeks in a row? Never mind the fact that I already finished it. You went beyond expectations. Yeah, you already screwed up the quote before. You may have gotten me if you hadn't said exceeding expectations first. But sadly, it just didn't happen. So I know how hard you're trying. I know how hard you're trying, and it's adorable when you're trying to get under my skin. But I built up an immunity. I was being merciful. I'm sure you were. I totally believe you. Someone angry? What, about the dislikes? Yeah, probably. I mean, as a judge, and if you don't give a game, like, glowing praise, like, you're gonna get some kind of... You should be ready for some kind of blowback. If anything, frankly, considering I do a lot of criticism on some of the games, even the ones that I'm highlighting on here, if anything, I was kind of surprised at how little blowback that I got. Like, the most I got was just a couple of dislikes on a video. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's nothing, really. But yeah, unless everyone was actually, like, super bitter about it, but they just kept it to themselves, in which case, yeah, fair enough, I get that, but most of what I've gotten has just been positive reception. which I definitely appreciate and respect. Hopefully we can end on a positive note. Would you say how hard Wind Rider tries is far exceed that which you expected? Considering that sentence is busted English, that's more hilarious than it is aggravating. But keep trying. You may get something eventually. Hey Zephyr, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing tonight? Or today, or the morning? Is it morning where you are? I don't know. I'm okay. Okay is good. It's 8. Wow. Well, hope you get some sleep. Okay. I will, no worries. Good. So, today we're going to finish up our judges' highlights with the last 2 games that I have on the list. Where's that one? And if it's all the same to you, I would rather go ahead and get these done for the sake of the devs watching these videos. So let's not go through creative today and just finish things up on a high note. If it's all the same to everybody else. Yeah. Oh boy, 15 minutes and Nova hasn't started. Oh, I know, right? I'm just so late. It's just terrible. It's just unacceptable that I don't get started with the content, with the main content, like right away. Also, it's 17 minutes according to this. Actually, Nova's speed running today. No kidding. I gotta make up for some lost time, considering I didn't do any kind of dev work on Monday, which is probably going to still be the case, because if we are going to do the Resident Evil marathon, which I think some people here have been on board with. In order to get through all the games, we're going to have to skip out on a couple of days. So, this would mean that Monday and Tuesday would not be spent doing dev work. Yeah, Monday, no dev work, and then... Did I say Tuesday? I didn't mean Tuesday, I meant Wednesday. Yeah, in order to get through all these games. Hey, Nightbot is back. Well, thank you for, of course, starting us off with a poop joke. I appreciate that, Nightbot. I get that longer creative section next stream is worth it. That's true. 4 streams a week confirmed? No! Though actually, just for the Resident Evil games. Maybe. Like, it is fun to stream stuff. But man, I can't imagine me doing this for like a full-time stream. Don't burn yourself out. Well, I was planning on going through these games anyway, because I wanted to get myself ready for RE9. But then it comes to the question of like, do I want to stream my first playthrough of RE9? Because I feel like streaming the whole all the Resident Evil games in preparation for RE9 and then not streaming RE9. It's kind of shitty. But at the same time, horror games like that are best played alone with nobody around at night. I'm like, I really want that best first experience, but at the same time, man, it's Resident Evil, and I want to share that with you guys. We'll see. We will see. But if I don't do that, I mean, if I do marathon it, then that's just going to be a bunch of days that we're not going to have going through creative stuff, because all my Resident Evil games are on console, and I'm not going to be able to easily switch between creative, the Discord server and the console. But that decision is going to be made on Monday. next Monday. So, whatever you guys see, if you see Resident Evil on Monday, then you'll know that the marathon is officially starting. So, yeah. But Friday will still be Pitch Friday. So, at the very least, we can go through creative stuff then. Yeah. Yeah, that may be how we go about it. I don't know. I like me some Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite series. And I want to share that with you guys. Now that we're actually all hanging out and around. But whatever. We don't care about that right now. What we care about are the games that we're going to be playing today. What do you mean? What do you mean? Is that some kind of like angry yapping combination? What am I supposed to read from that, Fortuna? What am I supposed to read from that? Well, whatever. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, the first game on our list. It's the monster going to game over you. Well, monsters do that all the time. Luckily, I managed to fight them all off with my shotgun. So, I don't really have a central theme for the games that we're going to be playing today. But just know that I enjoyed both of them. So, sometimes I bring in games that I have a lot of issues with. These last games that I'm going to play, I have very little to no issues with. So let's talk. I like this piano. Well, you're going to like a lot more than that once we actually show you what's going on here. This one is... Shit, wait. Of course, in my infinite wisdom, I completely forgot to grab the links. All right, hang on. Let me grab them really quick. Submissions. I'm a professional streamer, by the way. I always come prepared. There we go. This one is Road to the Next Life. This is a very highly story-driven experience, which may, there we go. Which, may interest you, or it may not. Game volume is a smidge loud compared to voice. If it stays at this level, it's actually going to get quite a bit louder. So, there we go. How about that? Is that better? I really want to rewatch the highlights from this jam over at youtube.com/RedNova5454 and absolutely obliterate that like button. Yes. Smack it. Smack it as hard as you can, as many times as you can, as long as it's an odd number. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Road to the Next Life is, yes, a linear story-driven experience which not gonna lie, had a very strong running for the best art style. If it had won, I would not have argued with it whatsoever. Oh my god, wow, my @ really is RedNova5424. Huh. Cool. John Erico knows more about my own channel than I do. Why the 5424? I don't remember putting that on there. Huh. Well, okay, that is interesting to know. Smack it as many times as you can, as hard as you can, as long as it's an odd number. Well, listen, if it's an odd number, that means it will stick. The like will actually stick. So as long as it sticks, I don't care how many times you hit the like button. It's the like button, by the way. I don't know what else you guys were thinking. don't know what's wrong with all of you. But yeah. So again, a title screen is supposed to be a nice intro between you and the game. Like, this is what you're going to see every time you boot the game up. So, sad man in a birdcage. Very symbolic of what you're going to get. And you know what? I appreciate that despite the text being super fancy, I can actually read it. You would be surprised how often I come across a bunch of fancy text that I could barely read. But yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. To live without hope is to cease to live. Fyodor, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. You've entered that final, fleeting moment of life, a life which had only reached 1/3 of its way. When your body fell, you felt yourself sink through the ground, rotating in a graceful half circle. For a moment, your head pointed in the opposite direction from which you had originally stood. A dark abyss sprawled below you, or above you, technically. Wow. Yeah, now you know how tired I am because I just yawned right in front of that. I'm not bored already, I promise. One might fancy themselves king of the abyss with this view, but gravity did not comply with such fancies, and after a pause, you felt yourself begin to fall. You fell without any lurching feeling in your chest. In fact, you fell with little a thought in your head at all. Everything you had once known was growing further and further away from you, until there was nothing left at all. Open your eyes, guilt-bearer. You have little time to waste. I'm a little torn on this, so someone can back me up on this, but at this point, I can't tell if this is supposed to be like a description or like an official title. So when I first read this, I was like, shouldn't this be capitalized? Because this is like your title right now, but I'm not gonna die on this hill. But if it were capitalized, I don't think it would go amiss. Your eyelids resist the simple action as though they are opening for the first time. Alright. And then, yeah, doesn't really tell you like that you can control the character. So that's something you have to figure out on your own. Sometimes, like, it was a very lengthy, not lengthy, but very involved intro sequence. So a part of me wasn't sure if this was if this was something I was supposed to like wait for. But no, once you hit the arrow keys, you're like, oh, okay, you can just move around. Ooh, pretty. Oh, strap in, Aaron, because it's only going to get better. By the way, I don't know how well this comes across on stream, but one thing you might note is that the character that I'm playing as is roughly 90% opaque, which means you can slightly see through him. At first, I thought this was just an error of the, like some kind of weird graphical error, but no, this is intentional. A great art style so far. Oh, strap in, because it's only going to get better. Yeah, look at that. Aye, bloody hell, I thought you were a ghost. Aren't we all technically ghosts? Ghost isn't synonymous with dead. Your hand didn't go through my body, so I'm not a ghost. Hold on now. We just met this guy. Don't give him the wrong impression about us. We shook hands earlier. I barely know him. Aye. Who cares what he thinks? He's doomed. Doomed? Ah, lad, look. You got this flickering about you. You're wavering away as we speak. I haven't a clue where to start. Oh, we dead? Yeah. The beginning of this game says that you're at the very last part of life. So yeah, it just shows you, like, yeah, this is death. You understand that you're dead, right? Fie. That tower over there has only one entrance. and we've clearly been here a while. It's likely the lad's still green. That doesn't necessarily mean dead, though. Well, when the description is this is your last moments of life, and then you fall down in a dark abyss, I don't know, that kind of screams to me like death. Like the game technically starts right as you're on the verge of dying, and then the rest of that intro plays out your actual death. Your actual departure from the mortal world. I had no idea you were so observant. I had no idea you were so ill-mannered. I'm dead? This is the afterlife? Quite right. I imagine it doesn't meet your expectations of it, depending on where you're from. You found yourself in bloody limbo. I think at this point, because I actually played this very late in my judging time. So at this point, seeing something not meeting your expectations, I became numb to it. So, but yeah, I feel like it's a very small bit of writing that technically makes it its own. That technically makes it a valid entry for the Game Jam. But yeah, oof. I feel like we can do a lot better than that. So let's try to think about that next time we have a jam. Especially because we all had an extra half a month to a full month to plan for it. So it's kind of weird that a lot of people's entries or interpretations of the theme was just like 1 or 2 text boxes of beyond expectations. He means limbo. Just limbo. Oi, quit it. Let a man show a little personality. Now, where do I begin? This here place is essentially a path from one life to the next. But my acquaintance and I are treating it like a vacation. I could spend an eternity comparing my previous lives, now that I have the pleasure of remembering them all. Now that is an interesting concept. When you're in limbo, you remember... So reincarnation is real. And it also means that when you're in limbo, you can remember every single one of your other lives. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like shit to me. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Especially if you realize that you were actually a really terrible person in one of your other lives. Like, can you imagine if you found out that you were the reincarnated soul of a tyrant? Oof. Depends on how cool your lives were, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it also depends on how shitty your lives were, too. I wouldn't get his hopes up about a next life at this rate. The boisterous man rubs his temples. The other man finally said something they both agree on. I'm sorry. I wasn't yawning this much before. What does that mean? I don't know how to break it to you. Then I will. Your spirit is fading. You don't have much time left. Aye. You haven't an ounce of tact in you. We don't have time to skirt around the issue. That's fair, I suppose. Listen, lad. Sometimes the weights we carry in life are too heavy for the road. Something's weighing you down, and it's only a matter of time till you sink. That, or maybe this is some kind of divine punishment. Nay, he'd be in hell if that were the case. We don't even know if there is a hell. This might be it. Don't listen to him. I've never seen a truly awful person around here. I wager they go elsewhere. Do you have any idea what's weighing you down? You close your eyes and try to remember. The echo of your lost memories are still there, like the memories that quickly disperse after one wakes up from a dream. But you can't discern anything from them, save for a monumental sense of guilt. Seems not. I dare say that's the most normal thing about you. It often takes a while for everything to come back. Death can be quite traumatic. Yep, that's a statement. Only someone who has died can make a statement like that. I mean, for all we know, death could be peaceful. No one really knows what death is really like because no one's came back from it. Suppose that depends how much you hold over personality-wise when reincarnated. Maybe. That is possible. But maybe your personality... Well, the thing is, your personality is also shaped by your environment. So if you reincarnated, that's a blanket reset of your personality because you are no longer influenced by the environment that you grew up in. You never know. You think about that for a second. Anyway, what can I do to survive? Nothing. Nobody's ever survived this, so I've heard. Your body in this world is dying, and the only way out is at the edge of limbo. Through the door to the next life. Limbo itself isn't dangerous, but you can't make it there in time. You don't think any of that is hardwired? I didn't say that. I said that your personality is also influenced by your environment. You know, there's no such thing as nature versus nurture because the fact is it's a combination of both. You know, a good person in a shitty world will have some of that shittiness rubbed off on you. And that will influence you one way or another. It can influence you to become a better person, or it can influence you to do what you can to survive in that world. Agree, but you definitely didn't say also the first time, and that your personality resets to blank. I'm pretty sure I said your personality gets a hard reset, which means that whatever personality you would have had, like the personality that you had uninfluenced by the world around you, you get that back. I'm sorry. You expressing pity? That's how you know a game like this is a piece of art. Because now, like, we're not even, 10 minutes into this game, and we're already having philosophical debates. Good job, Dev. This is what you've inspired. The monotonous man shrugs. It's sad. It's like an incurable disease. Right, that is. Aye. What is the difference between A-I-E and A-Y-E? I know A-Y-E is like another way to say yeah. But here it feels like it's being used for the same reason, but it's spelled differently. So maybe this is me overthinking it, but it makes me think that this is a different word than A-Y-E. How do I get to the edge of limbo? Lad, you're not going to make it. You're better off staying with us. I could even show you around the place. There's lots of pretty sights elsewhere. This place isn't much of a haunt. It's good for privacy and reflection, but not much else. I is the French version of I? Okay, then I have to pay a bit more attention to which person was saying A-Y-E and which one is saying A-I-E. You're not going to make it. Well, I guess the expectation is that we're not going to make it. I guess we'll have to go beyond that. I disagree. Let him fight it out. He can at least die knowing he tried. But I'm already dead, so who cares? Keep going to the east. We're already on the mountain pass that leads you there. Be thankful you didn't land anywhere lower, or else you'd have to worry about your calves too. Don't encourage him. It's futile. The boisterous man sighs. But I suppose it'd be hard to sit around idly with that knowledge. Just, I don't know. Take care of yourself, all right, lad? We'll leave you be now. Good luck. We will? Yes, we will. All right. Best of luck to you, lad. May Limbo treat you well. I feel like that's not what's going to happen. The boisterous man tips his hat to you. He smiles in an attempt to veil his pity. It fails. The monotonous man merely nods, his expression unreadable. Well, time to get on the road then. By the way, okay. I think I remember going back to see if these guys were even still there. I can't help but feel I just threw a dying dog out into the streets. It's not your fault human beings are partial to living. You speak as if you're not one. I just hope he goes out without any regrets. See, the problem with going out without any regrets is that because I don't know jack about who I am and what I'm doing here, and when I say I mean not just the player, but apparently the character as well. It's kind of hard to die without regrets when you don't really know why you're even here. Hello, friend. How are you? Friend? Ah, it's just a casual term of endearment. Don't think much of it. Well, okay. Can you not tell him in a pickle? Well, yes, but it'd be rude to point that out, no. I'm sure you're well aware of your predicament, otherwise you'd be asking me different questions. Well, I mean, I didn't have any other options to ask you. Oh, alright, goodbye for now. Huh, well, sure didn't get much out of this guy. Worth noting, this guy and the two guys that we talked to do not appear to be translucent. It is just me. What do you think is so weird about me? Your head grows heavy as voices begin to resound within it. I wish I was born different. Huh? Why? Nobody likes me. You're my only friend, Simon. You just need to get out more. Who cares what some ruffians think? The melancholic boy doesn't reply. You feel the words hanging in your throat. You know it's more than that. Well, there we go. Right away, you're telling me that one of these little flames is me. Now the question becomes, who? Things will get better. Just act like there's nothing different about you. Nobody will know. Am I Simon or am I the melancholic boy? Everybody already knows. But it doesn't have to define you. The melancholic boy goes silent again. It defines me whether I want it to or not. Well, now we know we're the melancholic boy. A disrepaired swing set. Merely looking at it stills your heart, but you find no point mulling over it. Also, it looks like... Oh yeah, by the way, there's the feeling unwell. Well, yeah, on account of the fact that you're dead. Interesting to note, you cannot dash in this game, and there's no dash option. Make of that what you will. Right, the Forest of Fond Memories. Well, that's easy enough. The floor below you begins to rumble. Whoops. Okay, now that I saw that animation a second time, that is really weird that his arms did not move. That was really weird. You seem startled, friend. What happened over here? The path just fell away. It did? It doesn't look that way to me. Oh no, he's walking on air. So we got a Silent Hill thing going on here, where we're all in the same area, but each of us sees something slightly different. See? It's fine. Come on, follow me. Did you just walk on thin air? He scrunches his brow and gives you a sardonic smile in place of an answer. Listen, you clearly aren't feeling well, and you don't have much time left, it seems. Why don't you go over to that swing set nearby? If I knew my time was short, I'd want to spend it peacefully. No, I can't wait around. I want to live. Hey, listen to me. It'll be okay. Just rest, and maybe you'll get your senses back. You can continue then. Regardless, I ought to go now. There's somewhere I need to be. Good luck, friend. Well, alrighty then. Where do you think this guy needs to be? But hey, we're all on our own journeys. Sometimes we don't need to spill our life stories to everybody. So we just keep on exploring. Okay. Left side's rope has snapped in half and the right seat is completely missing. You'll need replacements for both if the swing set is to be restored. Okay, fair enough. Oh, look, a sparkle. This is one of those points where I realized that it's a game. It's a jam. Why do we keep saying that? Game jam game. But whenever I see stuff like this, I'm like, you can probably have done it better for the level design to show you that this is something you can interact with. Especially since I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like this is one of the only times when this happens. Because I don't like something that's very, like, clearly a video game tell. Like, another way of saying it is, like, this is the yellow tape in Resident Evil 4. Is like, oh yeah, like, this is very obviously a video game indicator that this is something you can interact with. But at the same time, you know, yellow tape is there because when environments get so realistic, it's hard to tell what's a video game interactable object and what is not. So this is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, like everything else looks fantastic, but because of that, sometimes you might need a quick little, you might need a equivalent of the yellow tape in order to convey to players that you need to jump across it. But then the question becomes, why have this at all? Why not just have a quick little bridge? So, I don't know. Also, I'm fairly certain that sparkle wasn't there before I crushed a bridge. Yeah. Also, another thing, I appreciate the parallax backgrounds. I appreciate the diagonal, but when your movement doesn't account for that, just FYI, there is no 8-directional movement. You can only move in the 4 cardinal directions. So now you look like this. And that is not nearly as smooth. You want to have this is a very story-driven experience, I get that. And part of that is keeping the immersion in by the player. And for me, having to keep moving in the 4 cardinal directions in an extended diagonal section, that reminds me that I'm not immersed in a world. It reminds me that I'm playing a video game. Immersion is very difficult to build up and very, very easy to break. So I totally get why some things have to be ignored, but yeah, this is a weird thing. Wow, someone made this pretty art for a game jam? Yeah. Amidst heaps of junk and scrap, your eye manages to spot a pile of more practical items. Whittled stones, some kindling, and a short strand of rope. You sling it over your shoulder. Then suddenly, the creature came from deep within the junk pile, clearly unhappy that you stole something from its home. Such a beast is evidently unkillable by the likes of you. Ooh. The creature looks poised to attack, and now we have options. Defend, knock out, apologize, or run away. I do not quite remember exactly the sequence of events that I took when I did this, so I'm going to try something. I'm sorry. Can this monster understand human interactions? You apologize for disturbing the creature, raising your hands as if to show your surrender. The creature, however, is unfazed by the gesture and slashes at you with full fury. Ow. Alright, well, I'm out. You try to run away, but the creature catches up effortlessly and swipes at you. Ow. Okay, knock him out. You knock the creature over its head with your fist. Though it takes no damage, it stumbles back, stunned. It will take a moment to recover from its daze. Okay, get out. You take advantage of the creature's confusion to run away with the rope in tow. Oh, well that was easy. You neither hear nor see anything that would suggest the creature is following you. You are safe once more, it seems. So yeah, that was a very easy first fight, and I hesitate to even call it a fight. It's more just like an action sequence. Yeah. With everything you need to restore the swing set, you get right to work. You know, I appreciate that kind of low stake. I don't want to say low stakes, but very easy first action sequence to kind of let you know that this is not going to be a typical RPG. He's like, hey, we're going to try something different here. You got to use your head rather than grind out the numbers. You feel a rush of nostalgia as you get on one knee, unfazed by the prospect of dirt on your hands or scrapes on your knee. You hurriedly tie the ropes around the left seat's attachment slots before scooting over and repeating this on the right side. When you finish, it dawns on you that your familiarity isn't with fixing swing sets. Rather, what evokes your memories is a sense of solitude, a sense that there's no one you can call upon for help. In the distant past, your fears, doubts, and troubles lived and died inside of you. They would have fallen on deaf ears otherwise. Interesting way of telling me, but kind of wish some of that was shown to me instead, you know. Your head throbs as you get a better view of the swing set. You clutch your head, pressing on your temples in a desperate attempt to alleviate the ache. Voices once more resound inside your head. Only this time, the scene becomes manifest, and one voice is new to you. Hey, Mr. Robot who cannot move his arms. Are you alright? Nah. Sorry, John. I was spaced out. John's bright, brimming smile doesn't falter. You haven't a single thing to apologize for. Well, I still owe you my answer on whether or not I'm going to join. You don't owe me anything. I was just passing by and wanted to make sure you were faring well. You aren't mad that I haven't made up my mind? Of course not. It's a difficult decision to make. I feel so helpless. Every day I wake up and I wonder if it'll be my last. I know I'm not the only one, but it feels naive to think that it'll save me from persecution. John knits his brows, his hope-inspiring smile wavering ever so slightly. John. Yes? I'm real afraid. I don't want to die. I really, really don't want to die. There's so much more in life I want to experience. Okay, I've seen this a couple times now, but my understanding is that when you end your sentence with an ellipses, you need a fourth period there. Because the first three are the ellipses, the fourth is the actual end to the sentence. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I've seen that in countless other media, and so it's weird to not see that here. Unless this is another one of those color versus color moments, or armor versus armor, where U.S. Shortens spellings or shortens grammar. Fuck off. Don't you do this. Don't you fucking do this. One second. Hey, I'm back. Good news, I'm not getting called in, but yeah, somebody did have some questions that I needed to answer really quick. Yeah, my boss didn't need to call me in. I just needed to walk them through a quick little issue. Um, Basically, it's gotten to the maybe I need a vacation because I needed because someone told me, my boss told me what the problem was, and I was like, yeah, you just need to check a panel that I put in there on our production monitoring log, because I made one for that exact purpose, and it was just like, yeah, go check it out, and then you'll find a way to figure out what the what is it? Yeah, you'll find a way to figure out how this stuff works out. Hey, 10, thank you so much for the resub. Appreciate that. Why in the hell is that thing such a low priority? Okay, there we go. Yeah. 1 year stinky? What? 1 year stinky? What are you, liar? Nova had to take a big stinky? No, I had to deal with a big stinky. Close, but not quite there. The stinky didn't come from me. It just got in my way. Okay, so we are back into it. That being said, if I get called in again, then I might have to stop. So we'll figure out what's going on. Oh, God damn it, 10. Okay. John thinks for a moment. I want to say it won't ever come to that, but I'll admit, I've become worried too. For you and everyone else. I know it isn't much, but I'll do everything in my power to help you. You can come to me for anything. You feel a strange feeling in your chest, confusion, disbelief that someone could be so warm in a world so cold. What about yourself? They don't know what I am. No way I'd make a good spy otherwise. But enough about me. Do you have anyone else you can lean on for support? Say, if you were in imminent danger. That should be a question mark right there. Also, I'm really not sure what the right grammar is when it comes to ellipses in the middle of a sentence right here. Sometimes it's sometimes it is no space between the ellipses. Sometimes it's, if this is the end of a sentence, then this needs to be capitalized. Ellipses are just really weird to write dialogue for, so I honestly don't think it would work very well in dialogue. I would probably just leave it out, unless you're ending your sentence on it. Do you want the answer? Because I can tell you. I would love the answer, actually. Yeah, this is for my benefit, and it's for the devs' benefit and anyone else that can, anyone else that's reading this. I don't add space because my buddy hammered it into me. Yeah, I think the lack of space is the right thing to do. I like to use it for dramatic pause. Hey, Looney, welcome in. I like to use it for dramatic pauses. Otherwise, everything reads kind of flat. There's some truth to that, but honestly, it's... when you read stuff in your head, it can come across flat if you're not really trying to put any imagination to it. Then again, if it's flat dialogue, then flat dialogue can be read flatly. When I'm in the bathroom, I speak in ellipses. I imagine when you're not talking at all, you're speaking in ellipses. It's based on the style manuscript you're following. Chicago Manual of Style, most commonly accepted in fiction, say space before, space between each period, and space afterwards. For example, word, space, dot, space, word. Huh. That is the first time I've ever heard that. Well, for example, what we have here, we have another use of ellipses right here, and this time with a capital letter. I'm assuming the second word in your paragraph, Aaron, was meant to be not meant to be capitalized. Professional proofreader at your service. Not just mine, but everybody else watching this and reading this as well. So there you go. And here's 10 going through his silent protagonist phase. Which would be a little bit more effective if I knew the things that, like, if I didn't know the things that came out of his mouth. I've tried to tell my best friend about what's happening, but he doesn't. Well, he told me it's not as bad as I think it is, that I'm paranoid. John places a firm hand on your shoulder. You've never seen a man more moved by emotion. Yeah, again, this is a jam, so I totally understand this, but show, don't tell. You are very deliberately telling me and not showing me. Yeah. You've never seen a man more moved by emotion. Yeah. Okay, this is the other weird thing. Is like, I know this is supposed to like fit with grammar, but the XXXXX is clearly supposed to be some kind of censor because you're not supposed to know the name of this guy yet. But it's so weird to me that this is the one time when this first X is capitalized. Yeah. So wait, 4 periods is end of sentence? Yes. Right, no capitals if you don't have the 4th period. Right, because without the 4th period, it's still technically the same sentence. I'm sorry. The Resistance has a refuge in the countryside. I could make arrangements. Resistance? Ooh. And this guy's a spy? Ooh, suddenly the plot thickens. It's tempting, but can I be honest? I'm afraid I wouldn't make the trip. And I don't want to put a target on my back. I just want a sense of normalcy. But what kind of man does that make me? A man who's too afraid to run? You'd be like any other human being, just trying to survive. Please don't forget that living in itself is an act of resistance. Well, that was adorable, wasn't it? Oh, look, the bridge is repaired. Or the path is repaired. I guess it's time to continue on our road. I did like this game, though, when other streamer played it. Yeah, well, you get to experience it all over again. Yep. You know what I like? I don't know, 10. What do you like? I will say, though, ellipses are the biggest pain in the neck. Pretty much as long as you're consistent with yourself, no one is going to misconstrue what you mean. Yep, pretty much. But still, you know, the thing is, when I was learning to write, I was basically told just stay away from ellipses. Just straight up stay away from them. Admittedly, I don't quite remember why. I think it was because, like, people love to rely on ellipses to convey pauses rather than actually write your dialogue in a way that would naturally sound like a pause because they're lazy. I don't know about lazy. It's just, yeah, it's weird. Like, I remember that being beaten into me, be like, never use ellipses. I've kind of gone back on that because that's, yeah, because it's kind of hard to convey that, but yeah, it's just one of those things you just try not to do in general. And when you have a game, when you're working on a game, you have many other ways to convey pauses rather than ellipses. You can close the text box for a bit. You can have the characters wait. You can use the silence balloon. In fact, in Prairie of the Faithless, I did that all the time. Whenever there was supposed to be like a quick pause, I would just put in like a 60 frame pause and then a silence balloon, just to kind of convey the idea that there's a pause going on, rather than have to put that in dialogue. So there are way more ways that you can do it, as opposed to if you were writing a book. It's because you have to be a fucking rebel sometimes. Yeah, I guess. You know, that it's funny because there was. I don't want to make this. I don't want to derail this too much, but I do remember there was one section. I don't know if anybody's ever played Remnants of Isolation, but there was one section in the game where one of the characters was in a weakened state, and the way to represent that was have him speak in all lowercase letters. I was like, huh. That's an interesting way to do it. That was not my decision to make, but that was someone else that was handling the dialogue editing. I thought that was a weird choice at first, but I understand where they were coming from, and I've come around on it since. But yeah, when someone came in and I remember there was one review. I don't remember who did it, but yeah, they blasted that part of the game. They assumed that we had done it in like the last 30 minutes of the contest because they claimed that we did not proofread the dialogue at all. I'm like, nope, that was 100% intentional. But yeah, so I bring that up because I feel like critiquing things based on grammar is very difficult to really do, because sometimes like you don't know. It's hard to tell if there's something, if dialogue is, if you're breaking the rules, if that's intentional or not. Unless it's like 100% super clear, but even then, sometimes people are not going to get it. So, to bring that back to here, it's like, yeah, go ahead and use your ellipses, whatever you got to do. But, man, it's just super weird to me to see that now. As someone who does legit do it professionally, it's very hard to do. I mean, yeah. You can't break the rules until you know them. I felt like up till that point, we kind of demonstrated that we knew the rules, so it was kind of weird to suddenly have people say that, no, this part sucked because it wasn't proofread at all. I'm like, well, okay. But of course, then everyone will think you used AI because heaven forbid people know how to use sophisticated punctuation. You know, sophisticated punctuation is only impressive to people who understand that it's sophisticated. To the layman, to everybody who doesn't, it just looks weird. And I'll admit, I'm nothing special. I sometimes when I see like bold artistic moves, sometimes I misconstrue that as being complete shit. Or just like the game shitting itself, or that piece shitting itself. But I'm just one guy who has his own experiences, just like everybody else. Hear ye, you, that young man who hast entered mine abode. I dare say I see a suffering soul in front of mine eyes. Tell me, sir, does thy mind carry heavy burdens? I was about to say, maybe I can barely remember anything. I will keep my punctuation wrapped up close to my chest until I die. Well, good. I mean, without that, language changes, you know? You know, we don't use the same words in the same ways that we did 50 years ago. Maybe punctuation is just another one of those things. You know, try going back in time 20 years and try saying Zoomer lingo in front of people. They're going to think that you've gone insane. But nowadays, it's just normal. It does a lot, which is another reason why it's hard. It's also another reason why a part of me just doesn't care anymore. It's like, I'll point out when I see like obvious mistakes, but especially when it comes to dialogue, because I remember some of my games got critiqued for some like improper English. But I'm like, well, it's dialogue though. Not everybody talks in proper English. So it's kind of weird to say, oh, this writing is bad because this character isn't speaking proper English. I'm like, most people don't. I'm going to start capitalizing all the word. That might be another thing that triggers me more than it should. Because it's like, I can forgive typos in chat messages, but pressing shift to capitalize the start of every single word is a deliberate choice. And like knowing that really fucks with my head, because I'm like, okay, you're doing this on purpose. And it's like just to piss somebody off. Oh, congratulations, I am that somebody. I hate you for doing it, but oh man, some people do it. By the way, how's the audio? I'm just now noticing, I'm looking at chat and I'm just now noticing that the desktop audio sliders are really, really low. Yeah, people really do that? Oh my god. Well, people are weird. And actually, you know what? The most triggering thing... I'm sorry, Dev, I'm so sorry for all these tangents. But, like, yeah, the most triggering thing when I was in high school, because this was around the time when Apple was putting, like, I noun in front of, like, everything. And people thought they would be cute by just, like, putting I in, like, on their own, like, in their own cute little way, quote unquote. So when they write something like, I don't want to go there, they do lowercase I, uppercase D, and then don't, all one word, just because they think it's cute. And I'm like, it just made me want to punch the monitor. I hated that so much. And I regret saying that on stream, because I know some of you clowns are going to do that right away. I'm just counting down the time. Yeah. Audio is okay, I think. The music is a touch quiet, but if you push it up 2 more, it'll be too loud again. All right, well, let's do this. There we go. Well, you know what? If you want perfect audio mixing, go play the game yourself. I put the link in chat at the start of this, so I want everyone to go play this. Yeah. Anyway, maybe I can barely remember anything. Not even thy name, nor thy good memories, which one must always hold dear? No, that will not do, sir. It is my sacred duty to shed light on those memories that are oh so good, lest I no longer be known as the founder of fond memories. If you think that is going to be what make us use caps, lol. This force is a collection of the fondest memories known to mankind, all offered to me by the delightful denizens of Limbo. So I implore thee, recall a fond memory so that I may live on in Limbo eternally. I was about to say, wait a minute, I can't remember it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just, like, give you fond memories? But I like my fond memories. I want to keep my fond memories. I barely have any fond memories in the first place. I suppose the soul is quite fickle here in Limbo. And might I... Okay. I didn't catch this. Why are the dots, like, in the middle of the line? Huh. I feel like this was something that happened, like, for a word in a Word document. Like, sometimes Word likes to auto-create ellipses, and then when you put that in RPG Maker, sometimes... You know what? I think this happened a couple times in Prayer of the Faithless, because I wrote that in I wrote all the dialogue in that game in an external file. And sometimes when I don't manually undo all the ellipses, I push it, I copy paste it in, and then it looks weird. Yeah, it's the auto symbol. Man. Yeah, so the solution to that is just disable ellipses in Microsoft products. Yeah. You look quite weather-worn, my boy. I cannot say it is a shock you are in such disrepair. Regardless, I shall assist thee in this endeavor. Before you can offer any input, the founder of Fond Memories fuels you with a rush of clarity. It is... Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Hand twitched. Hey! But look at that. But we can actually read the, We'll actually be able to read the rest of this. Okay. I had no idea that was even a thing. I just, like, pressed shift on at a long shot, just in case. Yeah, when you have... I'm pretty sure that's not standard in RPG Maker. So, if that's something that was added as a plugin, the dev, please... let the player know that in-game. You know, there may have been an instruction breakdown. In fact, hang on, let me check this real quick. No, there is no text file that shows you how to play the game. So if it was on the page, then yeah, that explains why I didn't see it. Is it MV or MZ? I think this is MV. I might have to double check that, but I'm fairly certain this is MV. So it says plugins from Yanfly engine. So yeah, that tells me that it's from MV. Also, the fact that it has RPG Maker MV as a tag. Yeah, that also is kind of a giveaway. Yeah, because that's a very nice quality of life. It really is, and I wish the dev would let us know that, because I didn't know that when I played this game. So, yeah, I'm just now figuring this out. Okay, before you can offer any input, the founder of Fond Memories fuels you with a rush of clarity. It is as though a great wind has blown past your mind, clearing the fog that bogged it before. Though you still know next to nothing of yourself, a single lucid memory slips through the cracks. A ramshackle room fades into view, made peaceful by white light coming through the window. You stare at the light mindlessly, as though it and its dancing dust particles are the most wonderful sight in the world. Though you definitely wouldn't call this a fond memory, the sight puts you at ease, but everything comes to you so viscerally you have to suppress a hint of nausea. Would have been nice if we actually saw that, but okay. Yeah. Ho ho ho, have thy memories returned? A smidge. Splendid! It's only a matter of time till thy mind has regained an abundance. It's a slow morning, a Sunday perhaps. You lazily reach for the newspaper on your dining table. You unfold it and your heart sinks. It's difficult to read the words through the haze of panic present in your memory. All you know is that whatever you read pertains to you, or others like you at least. Before you know it, you're dashing down the stairs of your apartment building. You scramble to find the only person you know who understands, that man with the bright, brimming smile. You feel pathetic because you barely know him. Once you find him at that same shabby swing set, he must have been waiting for you, you sob, frantic and trembling, barely choking out your plea for help. You tell him the answer is yes. Yes, you'll join the resistance. You can't just stand by and watch anymore. Everything has gotten so much worse. What troubles you, sir? Interesting that this was the memory that came back when the guy is trying to give you fond memories. Despite the fact that you're super panicked and that, it isn't enough to overshadow your sense of guilt that you had at the very beginning, but I guess at the end of the day, this guy still doesn't regret joining the resistance. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. The memory cuts off there, but you still feel like you're in it. The fear is visceral. Your heart would surely burst if your dead body still had one. Suddenly, flames in death. I dare say you have found yourself in quite a conundrum. Run, sir, run. Yeah, sorry about apparently setting your insides on fire. My B. But yeah, I'm out. Well. I'm sorry, did that fire just punch me? You heard that sound effect, right? That fire just punched me. Well. Not quite what I expected from a fire. You deserved a fire punch? Did I? For what? What did I even do? Alright, well the good news is I can just hold down the button and just keep on going from there. So that kind of sucks because I remember not dying that time, my first time through. That was the first time I heard that I fell there. So, yeah. Ah, crap. And second time, too, apparently. Stream nerves? I don't think it's stream nerves. I just didn't really... I forgot where exactly I needed to go. But, there we go. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think, well, yeah. Third time. Wow. How am I screwing up like this badly? This is kind of bad. You just got worse at the game. Yeah, maybe. Chase sequences weren't exactly difficult for me, but, huh. Stay low? I mean, I'm trying to, but... yeah. There we go. See? That wasn't so hard. Yeah, like the main mistake is not following... Sorry, the main mistake was following the path. Because you don't really have a lot of... what was it? You don't have a lot of time to really think about your route. So the idea of there being a route that you have to deviate from that route to stay away from them is... I don't know if I like that, but it is what it is. Not a trace remains of the forest's former ire. You're left wondering if there was ever a fire at all. Without the clarity provided by the founder of Fond Memories, the scene from your past begins to drift away. That, at the very least, was real. What if I go back? Maybe I want to go back. You get a sinking feeling in your stomach as you reapproach the forest. Perhaps some things are better left unexplained. Best to move forward instead. So basically what this means is that we did not leave behind a memory at the Forest of Fond Memories. I wonder if that fucks up our time here. Obviously we didn't have a choice as a player, but I'm just thinking like thematically. What does it mean for the story that we did not leave behind a memory to preserve forever? Okay, also, so remember at the I believe this is something we interact with? Yeah, okay. So, quick thing for the dev. Some people mock me for this, but I like to value consistency in games. So when there's something you can interact with, remember, the last couple things we could interact with, there was a animated sparkle. This time, it was not animated. This is something we can interact with, and it's not animated. Hang on. A warning for you, guilt bearer. You mustn't try to change the past. You will perish if you cannot face the source of your ailment. Try to remember that human beings, such as yourself, oft do what they must to survive. Keep this in mind. This is very important for you to know as a player. But also, because of that, this should have been animated to help stick out more. Because it has the same problem that we had with Clockfall Station. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That game looked super pretty, but the stuff that you could interact with blended in so well to the background that it really wasn't great. Especially when you're add the pressure of the time limit of that game on here. Now, granted, you don't have that time limit pressure here, but because everything is custom, the stuff that you're supposed to stick out to you as a player blends in. It looks just like a background object. So that's something that the dev needs to keep in mind. And just animate this thing that you're supposed to interact with. Anyway, who are you? The wisp does not reply. Whatever possessed it must be gone now. Is it? Because it's still there, completely unmoving. To the dev's credit, I think this is some of the most memorable art in the jam. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to argue that. I think I mentioned at the start of this that this was a very strong contender for best art style. Let's see. In fact, let me double check the overview to see what actually won. Okay, best visual design. Oh shit, wait, why is it not here? Oh, I know why it's not here. Yeah, we talked about this. I remember this. Okay, so this game looked fantastic and we loved it. But the problem was, one thing that really held it back for us was the fact that it used the default message window. And we're just like, come on, don't do that. Like, you go through all this effort with all the other presentations, all to end up with a standard RPG Maker window. He was like, yeah, that, I appreciate the custom window skin, but man, that was rough. That was a tough pill to swallow. And this may seem kind of shitty. This may sound like a shitty reason to deny this the award, but the problem is presentation is a whole experience. So it all has to come together cohesively. And the default font as well. Yeah. Admittedly, for me personally, the default font was less of an issue. But the problem is these presentations, the visual style, it's all parts of a whole. You have to look at it from the top down. So to see stuff like this, so to see like a small blemish on an otherwise fantastic art style, I think that hurts more than a consistently mediocre style. I'm just speaking for myself here. I'm not speaking about I'm not speaking for any other dev, but in fact, this might surprise you. Did I put this on here? Oh yeah. This might shock you, but you know what one of my second picks for best visual design was? The Copper Knight. Because of its consistency and because of its clever use of, what was it? Using the past, the copper color, the oxidized copper for flashback scenes. I just really enjoyed that kind of clever color choosing. This has a very strong aesthetic of just looking nice, looking pretty. But small blemishes like default fonts and the default window, yeah, that hurts it. What's the blemish? Okay, so for this, we're using default RPG Maker font and we're using the default message window. Yeah. Especially when the dev definitely puts so much work into the rest of the visual presentation. Yeah. I definitely get that. Hey, it's the guy that left me behind. The fellow traveler watches you with a blank expression. Oh, unfortunate. It is, but hey, one of the reasons why I like doing highlights of these games is because I want to highlight games that some people probably would have passed over. Otherwise, I think this game is definitely worth playing, even if it didn't win the Best Visual Presentation Award. Well, it did get a shout out. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it was a runner-up for the best soundtrack, though. Yeah. And then also, one of the judges gushed about it, mentioned it as an honorable mention in one of the judges' favorites. Yeah, so, there you go. So, it did get some recognition. That's good to see. Because this game definitely deserves more recognition. Yeah. Sit down. We need to talk. Do we now? And I can see we're definitely sitting right here. And that's the other thing. When you go full custom, you no longer have any, I don't want to say any excuse, but I can believe that you didn't take the time to make a sitting version of the chibi sprites. Because it's chibi, and that's a lot harder to get right when you're trying to make sitting animations. Especially if you're using RTP. But you're going full custom here. And now, in my opinion, full custom sprites that are standing on top of stools when we're supposed to be sitting, that is far more jarring than if I saw chibis doing it. Because you can use your imagination to fill in the blanks and realize, that they're supposed to be sitting. Okay, no big deal. That's harder to justify when you have more realistically proportioned characters just standing on these stools. You oblige, though you're not sure why. I'll get right to the point. You've been acting strange. You're paranoid, and you won't listen to reason. Sorry, what? Is this about the path falling away? He ignores you and continues. So, for him to tell me that I'm acting strange, I feel like he needs to have a baseline for how I normally act. So it's kind of weird that this guy's saying this to me. And you've also been strangely distant. You used to be at work or at home. Nowadays, I never know where you are. Forgive me for being blunt. I can't help but be suspicious. Oh, listen to that. Now he's talking as if we know each other. Wait a minute. I'm not talking to the same person that I talked to earlier, aren't I? You have no idea what he's talking about. The world spins as you try to make sense of it. Suddenly, you begin to experience the world as though it were a play, as though your lines were writ on paper long ago. Your lips move, but your brain can't process the words until they come out. Simon. Your sudden disappearances, your beliefs, the local reports of rebel activity. Please tell me I'm wrong. You're not good at lying to your loved ones. You give him a look, one that confirms his suspicions wordlessly. Buddy, they're criminals. We grew up together, so I know you aren't a violent person. Then why don't you trust me? Kind of weird how this says, like, at this point you're representing this guy's words like this, rather than calling him the melancholic man. Because your fantasy world doesn't align with reality. You clench your fist in frustration. What's happening is reality. Do you think I choose to live in fear for my life? There's nothing to fear. You're overreacting. You think back on the morning paper from last month. Everything that got destroyed. All the lives that were lost. You know it'd be futile to bring this up, since you didn't have anything to say on it then. I can't stand by you if you're going down this path. The repercussions I'd face if they found out I didn't report a rebel. Now that's something to fear. And rightly so. Your heart skips a beat as anger forms on his face. What do you mean by that? It means I'm not going to forgive you just because you're my friend. You can't just become an enemy of the country and expect me to turn a blind eye. I have morals. You're trembling now. You don't understand, Simon. The resistance just wants to protect innocent people. Most of them are like me, someone whose well-being is at stake. Is it really moral to stand by and watch innocents be harmed? He stares at you, wide-eyed and furious. You've never seen an expression this blood-curdling. Now you're really talking crazy. You're a lost cause. I'm done. Simon, wait. Oh, now we're not doing the Now we're not doing this dialogue way that we've been doing before. Now it says you, and then now there's actual lines. Interesting choice. Battle time. You struggle to piece together the chain of events. You now know the man before you by name, but you don't know him as you must have when you were alive. Whatever's happening now, it isn't taking place in the present. Your instincts scream at you. You must prevent Simon from leaving through your front door, lest your life be forfeit. Your friend is 3 steps away from the door. Well, no matter what, we have to do it. We have to stop him. Flip the table. Still seated, you grab the corner of the table and flip it towards Simon. He jumps back to dodge it. Oh, so you're resorting to violence now. You're not even trying to be moral anymore. You take the opportunity to stand up. Simon is still 3 steps away from the door. Okay, music's picking up now. How's the audio mixing? Whoops. Didn't mean to turn myself down. Yeah, let me turn that down just a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Good? Okay, good to know. So we can talk it out. I don't think talking it out will do anything because that's what we spent the whole cutscene doing. So yeah, it's not gonna work. Knock him over. You knock Simon to the ground. He lays there, stunned for a moment after hitting his head. Okay, blockade door. Just for the record, I don't remember exactly what I did here. So yeah. I'm figuring this out again. With Simon stunned on the ground, you take the opportunity to blockade the door with whatever's available. In a matter of moments, you knocked over your bookshelves in front of the entryway. Simon recovers from his daze with fury. It'll be nigh impossible to walk out now. Damn you. Fine. If you won't let me report you, I'll just have to rid of you myself. I feel like there's supposed to be a B in there that just got cut off from the text, but yeah, whoops. You no longer have to worry about Simon's proximity to the door. That was a complete guess. Wow. I actually did not mean to do that. I don't remember how I did it, but I do remember that I got Simon all like one step away from the door. So I just happened to get it right the first time, I guess. Okay. What do I do now? Knock him over again. Just be a bully at this point. You shove Simon to the floor again. He's not happy he got stunned by that a second time. Alright, pin him down. You sit on Simon's torso and look at him, using your body weight to keep him pinned to the floor. He writhes around, but fails to successfully escape on his first try. Remember what the Wisp said. Don't try to change the past. Do you think Simon is willing to talk it out? I don't. Your hands tremble above his neck. You're afraid of the man before you, of how easily he threw away 10 years of friendship for what? Normalcy? You can only imagine how afraid he must be, that being associated with you could lead to his own death. You understand the fear and the desire for normalcy. But now that he wants you dead, you fear you have no other choice. You put your hands around his throat. He snarls at you. You really don't want to do this. You can't change the past. What do you think? You think a person is called guilt bearer because he talked it out with his friends? Nah, buddy. Nah, we're strangling him. You squeeze your hands tighter around his neck. He finally begins to feel the pressure and flails around in an attempt to throw you off. But there's nothing he can do when you've weakened him like this. Tears begin to well in your eyes. Simon, I didn't want to do this. Strangle. And now you have no choice. Sometimes you just have to strangle a bee. I was about to say, like, when I first read that, I was like, strangle a bitch? It was like, no, he's a bro. Sometimes you just have to strangle your homies, I guess. Guilt bearer because he feels too much, that's all. Right. You watch yourself from a bird's eye view. You are now a mere spectator as the last of Simon's strength is snuffed out like a candle. As his body goes limp, you snap out of your haze and realize it is over. I prefer to hug my homies. Well, not if your homies are going to report you and get you killed. I think we all prefer to hug our homies, but sometimes we have to make the choice between, dying from a betrayed homie or kill your homie. As most of us do. Just like that time I probably shouldn't say that. For legal reasons, that was the joke. I think that maybe he is not a homie then. But what if you thought he was a homie? We just saw, like, guilt bearers once homie immediately drop it and be like, nah, I'm going to report you, get you killed. Because his homie was like, if I don't report you, I'm going to die. But then guilt bearer's like, yeah, but if you report me, I'm going to die. So you're not going to talk it out. Sometimes you just gotta. You finally feel a weight fall off your shoulders. Your soul remains weary, but it's lighter now. You think of Simon, of the fellow traveler. There's no body in sight. You can only assume the traveler was another figment of your memory. Your past self couldn't be convinced that what he did was self-defense. He saw himself as a cold-blooded murderer, a monster who killed his best friend. You, in spite of the personal emotions that bleed in through your memories. See him as a victim of circumstance. Well, that sucks. Probably would have been a bit more disturbing if we had actually like gotten to know him a little bit more, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, there's only so much a 1 hour runtime can get you. And for what it's worth, I was able to finish this game. So, and just speaking as myself here, I will always rate games higher when I can finish them, because I can get the whole experience. Because I can't really talk about the themes and talk about the story resolution when I haven't seen the resolution of the story, you know? And for a jam with a theme like Beyond Expectations, like the ending was one of the best times you could have explored that theme. You know, you lay down the rug all nice and snug, and then you yank it out from under the players right at the very end, just to show them the real depth of the story that you were in. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey Nova, what's good? Hey Nawanda, welcome in. How you doing? I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Are you not a fan of devs releasing one chapter every 9 months? It's not like I'm not a fan of that, but sometimes, you know, these one chapter every 9 months, you know, I'm not paying the devs rent. You know, I'm not paying their bills. You know? So because of that, I'm not going to decide how long or how quickly they should be making their game. They can take it at their own pace. But I'm talking about from a game jam. We only had 1 month. So I expect I want to have a full experience of a game within that 1 hour runtime. So it's always super disappointing that I couldn't do that. So I would much rather have it like this, where I can actually experience the full a bit of the story, because then I could say, hey, this part could have been done better, this part couldn't be done better, because now that I know how the story is supposed to end, I have the entire frame of the narrative. I can go back and say, hey, this plot thread was laid out pretty well here, this plot thread kind of came out of nowhere here, so maybe you can put something, you can plant the seed a little bit earlier, like right around here. Yeah, it's just a lot better. It's a lot better if I can give a lot better feedback if I can get the full picture. Yeah. I'm not. What? What do you mean you're not a fan? Not a fan of devs releasing one chapter every 9 months? I mean, until you start paying those devs rent, until you start paying their bills, I think it's very unreasonable for you to demand, not you specifically, but for people to demand that devs hurry up their projects, because they got their lives to live, and you know they're not doing this as a full-time job. So you know, fans just have to shut up and be patient. I say this as somebody who is still waiting on the finale of Leaf Go, because I'm really waiting for that one. I'm really excited. I will be there day one as soon as Leaf Go gets released. For those that don't know, Leaf Go is a series I've been playing by a RPG Maker dev, and I found the story very endearing, but the dev is just, you know, going at their own pace, and I'm happy to be patient and just wait for the dev to take as long as they need. Doing fine. Surprised I got a couple of late birthday game gifts. Doing some sprite art before trying them. Hey, happy belated birthday. What kind of games do you get? I'm going at my own pace too, even if the pace is a full stop. Well, I mean, that's fine. Again, you make your choice. I don't know why I'm trying to find something to interact with. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, see, again, like here, this one I think I can kind of understand a little bit more, because this switch like really sticks out from the rest of this art. Specifically, I think it's the perspective. It feels like the switch is like this lever is supposed to be on the ground. I think this is an RTP lever. That may or may not have been tweaked a little bit to fit the art style of the rest of this game. But yeah, that looks. Oh, Wow, did you see the whole base drop? Like the base of that lever drop? It's almost like the whole thing was vertically flipped. Huh. I can take it from here, sir. Oh, are you sure? I'm sure. This man requires my special attention. The customs officer nods and leaves aptly. How did he leave? How did he leave? There's no door here. He just apparated into midair. Everything's settled. Welcome to the big city, guilt bearer. Oh yeah, this is the guy that we talked to at the very beginning. The guy with the big bright smile. Thanks, man. I got Small Saga, a cool mice JRPG I've been following since before it came out, and Lone Fungus, a Metroidvania about a mushroom boy. I've never heard of either of those, but I'm immediately interested. Is it really safe for you to be sneaking me in like this? Okay, now we're talking from the perspective of the melancholic man. This might just be my artistic ineptitude, but I find it kind of weird that we're switching from melancholic man, and then in the last flashback it was you, and in that same last flashback it wasn't even a nameplate until the very end, where we were just talking along the lines of what was it, the italics. Like, this perspective change is a bit odd to me, and I'm not ready to say that it's bad yet. I just needed to spend some time thinking about it. But on a replay of this, I'm not seeing any connections that I'm missing. Now I remember the full story. I remember what happens, but I'm not seeing why it's presented this way. Oh, please. Everything I do comes with risk. You aren't the only one the resistance has brought into the city. It's important we have people here. There's only so much we can do while spread out across the country. Though I will say, it is also nice to have a friend close by. You consider us friends? I wouldn't do that if I were you. Did you see what I did to the last friend I had? Apologies, guilt bearer. Was I being presumptuous? No, not at all. I wasn't sure if you considered me one. John's smile widens at that. I think you'll get along with the others here as well. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a comma after here. I think I saw Benny play this game. Good. More people need to play this game. The bonds we have with one another. They're important, I think. They keep us going when the going gets tough. Or they give you some extra practice in case one of them turns on you. Just ask Simon. Oh, wait, you can't. John gets up from his chair and tips his hat courteously. Again, wish I could have seen this. I'll see you around. That was a weird flashback. Because this is not even the same room. It's not even a similar room. Why did that lever trigger that particular flashback? You would think that flashbacks would be triggered when you're in an area that resembles the place that you were into, but this isn't even close. But hey, we're inside. There's no need to push this right now, implying that there will be a time to push it. And now we're back to the animated sparkle. You have nothing to put on the sign right now. And so it wasn't even worth it. So we have an animated sparkle right here. We have a pot here. Both can be interacted with. None of them should be interacted with right now. Just seems weird to me. Seems very weird. Anyway, let's walk our translucent butt over through here. Your head grows heavy as voices begin to resound once more. This time, you can't tell whether they're from the present or the past. The stone soldier lazily tosses a pile of posters into the crate with one hand. See, this time, I totally buy the telling, not showing, because these are very clearly statues. So, and they're not even animated. When you walk around, they're on a pedestal. I get this is supposed to be some kind of like artistic interpretation. Whereas the human characters that we saw that didn't animate when we were told they animated, yeah, I think that's a little bit weirder. I believe that's the last of them. Oi, good riddance. Those twats think they can just vandalize the city and get away with it. It's likely they'll keep at it. The captain ordered us to take down posters whenever people started reporting on them. Eh? When people start reporting on them, shouldn't we try catching rebels in the act so we can make an example out of them? Don't ask me. Ask the captain if you disagree with them. The crude soldier makes a face. He doesn't reply. Don't mistake the captain's orders for weakness. We're better off making an example of someone more vocal. The aloof soldier nods curtly as the crude soldier glares at him, frustrated and embarrassed. There's an awkward air before the soldiers silently decide that small talk's over. The statues regain their lifeless shine. You can't help but tremble under their stone gaze. Alright, so what are you doing here? It serves no function at the moment. Bruh. Well then, what do? You find 4 half-mangled posters sitting in the crate. Though the statues don't react, you remain cautious. Did I take the posters? There's nothing... Okay. Nothing else in the crate. You get a bad feeling about placing a poster right in front of these stone soldiers. Do it anyway. Didn't even know I was supposed to be placing these posters. But hey, good news is, you can in fact sit... Wow! We're already an hour and 10 minutes? Holy shit. Once again, I'm reminded as to why I'm glad I did not choose to stream the judging process. Because this was my save file for right before I beat the game. So, wow. That is crazy. So, I saved that because I just wanted to point out that if you did that, the soldier to your right stabs you with his bayonet. Yeah, you just die. Normally, I'm not a fan of instant kill scenarios like that, but, you know, you saw right away that these soldiers were taking them down. You went to go put them right back up. The game warned you, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea. You do it anyway, you deserve what happens next. The pots to your left regain their original positions. Well, alright, that should tell you. You know, I kind of appreciate this because you've already been trained. Well, it depends on if you missed it the first time, but if you talk to the first wisp that looked like that, then naturally you'd be drawn to it again, right? So then you hit it. The pots to your left regain their original positions, implying that this... So if you didn't go around exploring and running into pots, you now know that you are capable of moving these pots. And it puts you right in the way. It puts this thing like right alongside your path, so it would be very difficult to miss if you happen to catch the wisps before. That's a good way to show players how to solve a puzzle without actually giving them a tutorial about how to do it. So I like this. This is good. More of this, please. Okay. You hang the poster on the sign. You know what? It's even better because the sign right next to the soldiers didn't have that sparkle on it. So yeah, all the more reason for you not to try to put a poster there. Yeah, put a poster right here in the back alley where nobody's going to see. Alright, now next we have... What was it? It was going to be... Shoot, how do I do this? Yeah. Oh, I'm so smart. I'm a genius first try. Excuse me. But yeah, man, if I were streaming this process, I would have stopped right here, and then I wouldn't have been able to see the end of the game, which that would be super disappointing. Because yeah, I'm on board with this kind of story. I wanted to see more. So yeah, I'm very glad I chose not to stream it. But hey, who knows what may happen next year? Because I might just Who knows? I might just stream it next year. If I'm coming back as a judge. I don't know. I'm assuming a lot here. Civilians report the appearance of more posters. Head out and tear them down fast. Okay, so it is kind of weird that I died as soon as I tried to put a poster up right next to them. But then I could just pick up the posters right within eyesight. No problems whatsoever. That does seem a little bit weird in retrospect, but not weird enough for me to think that it's just like a bad plot point. Okay. Moving on. You're under arrest, miss. Leave her alone. She did nothing wrong. I can't vouch for her. I can vouch for her. She's my neighbor. Silence. We'll apprehend anyone else who moves. Please, tell me what I'm being apprehended for. We suspect you have ties to the rebels. You're just saying that because of what she is. We said silence. One more word out of you and we're taking you with her. Apprehend her already. Yes, sir. And now the puzzle begins. So instead of soldiers, I'm moving pots. Okay, fair enough. The pots regain their original positions. Kind of weird that pots was the chosen medium of obstruction here. Kind of makes me wonder, like, is there some kind of meaning behind the pots? Or are they just existing obstacles that we've already used and they just happen to work well here? I don't know. Ah, shit. I might have screwed it up. Oh, man. Can I go under? Nope. Okay. Nope, I got it. First try. I'm a genius. They say a group of rebels immediately came in and fought off the soldiers. How violent. Really? That's what led to the battle afterward? Mm-hmm. They say it was a massacre. The rebels were short on muskets. All that just for one random woman. Well, what if she was truly innocent? People shouldn't interfere with the government's work. If she was innocent, they would have eventually let her go. The conversation goes cold. Doubt seeds in some of their minds, but fear persuades them against pursuing them. Well, the only way for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And a bunch of men decided to do nothing. So off we go. So, I'm not sure if I should keep doing this because, like I said, today's going to be the last one, and I'm already a lot further along in time than I expected. Seriously, how long have I been doing this? An hour and 16 minutes? Really? Wow. 9 minutes, 9:03. Huh. What the hell? I started 2 hours ago. I started streaming 2 hours ago. How in the world wow, I thought I went right into this. I know we spent like, what, 20 minutes after at the start of stream for this? Huh. That's a weird one. Anyway, because I wanted to get to the other one, and this is a very linear story-driven game. So I kind of want to blue balls you guys a little bit. Because I want you all to play the game yourself. And it makes me, this makes me, time dilation stream. You know what? If I have that kind of power, that would be amazing. If only I could dilate it in the other direction so that I can get more time out of the day. But yeah, I don't know. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and stop this here. Mostly because everything that I wanted to say about this game pretty much has already been said. And also because I want you guys to play this and see how the story concludes for yourself. Just know that there is a lot more guilt that the guy has to endure. And it does touch upon some themes of acceptance and moving on. The ability not to change the past, but to accept it. And I think those are some pretty good themes for a story like this. So, I think that's what we're gonna end up doing. So once again, this is the road to the next life. Visually, it is gorgeous. Gameplay, I do appreciate the effort it took to have the puzzles integrate with the story itself. So that gives this game far more of a unique spin than it does like your basic like block pushing puzzle or whatever. Yes, there was some quote unquote block pushing puzzles that we just did. But if it were just a block pushing puzzle to get to the next area, it would not have been nearly as memorable as a block pushing puzzle to obstruct soldiers trying to save a person. Which, as a rebel, yeah, that's what you were doing. But how it all plays out and what the main character does to deal with it, that is something you guys are going to have to find out for yourself, because I ain't gonna do it. Great job on this one, Dev. I hope you are proud of yourself. It's true. It actually didn't win any accolades, but it got a runner-up on sound design. But you should still be proud of what you've accomplished here, because it is great. So, good job. Good job on this. Okay, so our final game for this highlights session and for the 2025 RPG Maker Game Jam is another story-driven adventure. Very similar to Road to the Next Life. But this one stood out for very similar ways, for very similar reasons. This one, however, did, in fact, win an accolade. Which one could it be? Which one could it be? Which one could it be? And it turns out there's only one game that I haven't played yet that won an accolade. So I guess some of you may have already picked up on it. In which case, shut up, don't spoil it. Because I need to go grab the page. Okay, this one is, wait for it. That's not it. That was the icon. I don't know why I thought. Uh-oh. Wait, what? Fucking Windows Defender. Well, Defender Smart Screen prevented an unrecognized app from starting. Running this app might put your PC at risk. That's okay. I will put my PC at risk. That's fine by me. Anytime now. Anytime now, please. Run anyway. Yes. There we go. This one is Masaki's way of saving the world. So, much like Road to the Next Life, Masaki has a very starts with a I don't want to say an interesting premise, but it starts off very simple, but then it expands as you go along. Like, you learn more about the world, learn more about the lore, and it actually concludes in a very memorable way. Or not, depending on the ending that you get. This one, I will try to at least get one ending in it, because there are several endings you can get. And you can see by the gallery that I didn't get everything on here. So I'm hoping that I'm probably just going to go down one of the routes that I've already done, but I really want to get all the endings eventually, once I find the time. So yeah, not much else to say about the preamble. So let's just go ahead and do it, especially since we're running out of time. Oh? Who? Oh, right. I know who they are. They look so happy. It makes me feel strangely happy, too. I wonder what they're doing. Oh no, please don't cry. It'll be okay. So, remember what I talked about in Road to the Next Life? About a few times where there's showing, not telling? Sorry, where there's telling, not showing? There was the opposite of that. You've learned a whole lot about what happened to these two characters just by a couple of chibi arts. She looks so sad now. Just a little while longer. Don't worry. You won't be alone for any longer. And everyone will be okay. I just hope, with 2 ellipses, 6 dots, and still no ending period. And there we go. This can separate a distinct visual novel experience from a RPG Maker one. It's just a different window picture, rather than just using the default window skin. Not skin, window layout. There we go. That's what I was looking for. What was that? It almost felt like somebody was trying to get in my head. Never woken up like this before. The ceremony is in a few days. I can't sleep in today. Of course, this guy looks like he could use some extra sleep. I need to clean up around here. It's a really important event. Everyone is depending on me. Looks depressed? How can it look depressed, Looney? Look at all the bright colors around here. I can't let them down. No more lazing around. Don't do that. So yeah, Masaki Saves the World has won, and I'm sure you guys will understand why, the Best Visual Design category. Yeah, with its gorgeously painterly maps, beautiful character designs, and overall sense of stillness, the game's visual design truly resonated with me. That was just a quote from the box. I agree with that. I think the designs are great. I think the painted backgrounds are great. But I would be remiss if I didn't reiterate something that I brought up to the other judges, which is one reason why I thought it looked great, but for the same reason that I think the window skin really hurt my immersion in Road to the Next Life. If you know a thing or two about pixel art, you can probably look at Masaki's sprite and you can understand why. I felt the same way. I don't know what happened or what caused this. Maybe it was a result of a pixel filter just going awry because of the full screen. Actually, no, I don't think it's because of the full screen. It is not because of the full screen. But if you'll notice, Masaki's pixels resolution just keeps bloating. It keeps distorting. So, like, if I can... Oh, whoops. I can't go that way yet. But yeah, you'll notice as the camera moves around, you see some pixels of his hair get thick, some don't. And it looks really, really sloppy. And that baffles me. Because I was like, how did this happen with everything else looking as good as it does? Artifacts? I don't think it's artifacts. Artifacting is when, from my experience, it's another way of saying like anti-aliasing going wrong. Like, this is not anti-aliasing. These are just pixel distortions. I'm not sure what the technical term is there. You could be right, artifacts, but yeah. You could see the events dancing around a bit too. Yeah. Supplies, spare tools, and blankets. A few sacks of seeds. Paint, logs, yeah, etc. So it just makes me wonder why they chose to use pixel art for the character sprites and not a hand-painted art style that would look right at home with the rest of the backgrounds. Because once I noticed it, I couldn't unsee it for the rest of my time through. And because this game is so gorgeous otherwise, like this distracted me a good deal. I made this dresser. One of the drawers got stuck a while ago. I don't know how to fix it. I cannot really ask Father now. Why is BG a flashbang? Hey, Dreamlike, welcome in. Because everything is light. It's supposed to give you the idea of... Oh, there we go. 4 days left. Because it's supposed to help the dreamlike quality. It helps with the dreamlike quality of this world. I need to go clean the back of the estate. The tools are here. Sometimes I nap here too. This guy sure likes to sleep a little bit. Don't pay no mind to that big spoiler outfit change that we just saw. Whoops. I don't use this broom much anymore. It would be a waste to throw it out though. Should be a comma after out. I need to light these at night. See what exactly? Something smells really good. Really sweet. Again, I've seen this every time, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it here. Just to repeat what I said earlier in Road to the Next Life. At the end of your sentence, if you're ending your sentence with an ellipses, you need a fourth period there. It must be because of the feast they are having today. They wouldn't want me there. Let's just do a good job. Why wouldn't they want you there? Using real flowers for the ceremony is a little difficult. Ah, I didn't realize you were there. A pretty lamp. Alright, time to go clean it out. Sweeping. Press Z and X, the buttons repeatedly to fill the gauge. Okay, like when it shows up, when the pictures change this rapidly, you start to notice like small things, like why the pants color and the scarf color changes. Just a little bit when you do that. Like, that's so weird. Let's clean you up. Yeah, the shoe. Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on, but why couldn't they just change it, leave it the way that it was? Like, that looks weird to me. But I do like that satisfied little half smile that he does. Well, it's not really a half smile. It's just like that satisfied look when you've done a good job. Yeah, I like that. That's really nice. Fish. Come here, fishy. They didn't come. Aw. And this is just another save point. Yeah. So, whatever. Sweet. First off, once again, I love this little these art style changes. Normally, I think that's a little bit strange, but for a game like this, I think it just works. I love how like bright everything is as well. Like it's such a stark contrast to what we've seen so far, and it gives it like a really almost peaceful quality to it. Is it really okay to be making a huge feast right now? Yeah. Like the visuals kind of give a very peaceful quality, and then you see small things that really stick out, like 4 days left. Like, what does that even mean? 4 days left until what? Until, I guess, some kind of ceremony, right? But then why not just say 4 days until the ceremony? What are you hiding? This should be clean for Hinanome-sama. Something broke. It came from the feast. I hope everyone is fine. Okay, so this didn't come across to me when I first played this, but now that I have headphones in, that was a very, very pleasant noise from my left ear and nothing else. Should I go help? I mean, why not? What else am I going to do, you know? I think it came from this way. Where is everyone? Ah, bees. It must have been you guys that scared the guest. It's okay. I won't hurt you. Press Z at the right time. Ow. There we go. So, yeah, I think this minigame is a little bit weird because it doesn't really show you the right time. Admittedly, I never actually failed it, so it could be that it was very lenient to kind of help me figure out the right timing because, yeah, there's no window when the right time was. And when I found the right time, as you guys saw, yeah, that didn't feel right. Like, it felt like it was early because there was such a distinct difference in the moving picture versus the still one. I thought I had to press the button right as the moving picture became one with the still picture. But apparently that's too late. They went away, thank goodness. I hope I didn't hurt them too badly. I'll be sure to have everything ready in time, but if I may be frank. And there's a CG. I was surprised when I received a letter. I haven't heard from anyone in Kogetsu for years. We could not find somebody with your skills of expertise and closer proximity. It is fortunate that your family records were still kept. Could this be seen as a silver lining? You and your servant will be housed at this section of the estate. You both are allowed to traverse as you see fit. If you are in need of anything, there should be plenty of people to send a message with. So generous. Thank you for your hospitality, Yukimura-sama. Oh, there you are. Get this out of the way. Kyoshiro, sir? May I ask him of anything may I ask him of anything if I need help? That one? That one. Wow. What do you mean, that one? Is this the one that won Best Art Design? That is correct. Yes. He is a part of maintenance, but if you feel like he is the best one to send a message with, it's your choice. Wow. Alright. I'm just a part of maintenance, huh? Father. His name was Father, by the way. Just want to point that out. It's nice to meet you. Both of you. I thought I saw you dancing with the bees earlier. It was quite remarkable. It seemed dangerous. I will leave you both to your work. Good day, Aikawa Dono. You are just as adorable as your sister. Ew. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Masaki. No, she's much prettier. Oh? Sir, please. You're being too much again. And you didn't even correct Mr. Yukimura for calling me your servant. I didn't realize. Please fix your coat. Boy, that bothers me. I'm sorry about him. I don't think we've introduced ourselves to you. Our healer suddenly passed away. We needed somebody to fill in. Kyoshiro-san told me just as much. So we're here to help, I think. My name is Nicholas. It's nice to meet you too. Nicholas. It's a foreign name. Yukimura-kun. May I call you by that? It's Masaki. Of course, Masaki-kun. Have you ever met outsiders before? A few. I needed to help out with guests, especially the ones who stay back here. Fascinating. You're so interesting to talk to. Huh? Which one of these rooms is yours? I don't live in the main building. So you have one to yourself? Yeah, it's tiny, at the back. Isn't this the back? I don't see another building anywhere. It's more back. More? Where you two came from. How far is it? Yeah, maybe don't talk about the fact that you live in a shed. We had to abandon our car at the base of the mountain in lieu of a horse. I hadn't rode a horse in so long. Roads are not good for cars. You mean your roads? We drove a long way to get here, and then walked a long way to get here. I'd say that's pretty far. Well, I mean, that's subjective, you know. Who knows how long far is? Is far nice? I guess so. This is the first time I've traveled like this. I don't have much of a point for comparison, and Masaki's already asleep. When he's halfway through answering a question that Masaki himself asked. I guess I can say it's, Masaki? Wow. Oh my goodness, how cute. Did he fall asleep while standing? I don't think that's normal. Hey, Masaki, wake up. I listened. I'm not too pressed about it, don't worry. Nicholas, where do we put our bags again? You don't remember? Jeez. Masaki, we'll talk to you later. Thank you for having us. Thank you for helping. I'll find you tomorrow, okay, Masaki-kun? Work hard. Well, those were a few interesting characters that we've already met. I imagine they're going to be quite a bit of a presence for the rest of our adventure here. From outside. And now the idea of outside has gone into Masaki's head. I wonder what kind of place that is, with no question mark. The sweeping is finished for today. I wonder if it's fine for me to sit down just a little bit. It should be fine, right? Nobody's here, and it's really warm. A short nap should be fine. Really short. Super short. Press Z to stay awake. And you can't. I like the idea of a mini game that you can't win, because he's fighting hard to stay awake. Though maybe not hard enough, because no matter what you do, the meter is never going to go down. Or never going to go up. But hey, I guess he just slept through the whole day. This is a lot of stuff. Kyoshiro-san said I should take this to my shed. I don't know why there, but I didn't want to argue. Maybe he's planning on picking it up from there. That must be it. Heavy. You said you'd go to the shrine with me later. I didn't forget. I'm sorry, Yukimura-san needed me for something. It wouldn't be right to say no. Right. Okay, I guess I can forgive you. Oh, there we go. The god of rest and the god of bounty. The moon and sun. Our twin gods are the epitome of balance that must be kept in this world. And in all this, remember to be grateful and happy, child. Especially you. Who or what is Masaki anyway? Kinda weird, don't you think? It's still heavy, but it's okay. I'm almost there. Oh no. Oh. It's a little coon. That doesn't animate other than his idle stance. Okay, fair enough. This is not good. Yeah, that's fine. Just give it some marshmallows. It'll go away. No, you cannot be here. Not right now. Please, just leave. I cannot do this right now. Please go away. What does the raccoon have in his hands? Paper? Wait, what are you holding? Yeah, I have no idea. You know, actually, I didn't know what would happen if I failed. What changes? No. I actually succeeded the first time I did this. It made a mess. I can't leave everything like this. Everyone would be upset. Let's sweep it up quickly. I wonder if this affects anything, because I'm pretty sure I didn't actually... Like, I passed it the first time I played this. I hope this didn't have some kind of butterfly effect that takes me off to a whole different route in the story. Could you imagine that? How much time was there to make those games? This was for the RPG Maker Game Jam, which means that every game that I